New Sprint Ride Option podcast starts now. Carrie Underwood's going to lie to us. She's going to say we're looking all day to Sunday night. We're not. Niners Bills preview. We got Jay Spence joining us. Sprint Ride Option podcast starts now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option podcast. We are live, and Jason, I promise that's the only Carrie Underwood reference I'll make for the next hour. Niners, Bills on Sunday. Jason Aponte, Andrew Pasquini, Sprint Ride Option podcast. Jason Aponte, how you doing? Lovely Friday, day after Thanksgiving. Are you still full? Are you football today? Just a good football week, and you still full from yesterday though?
Nah, not really. I'm like one of those fat skinny guys where like I just eat and eat and eat and eat. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to brag, but like like I'm the person that when I go to your function, the older women in the room ask if I've eaten, and I say no over and over, so I can continue to eat. And they fix me the plate. So yeah, I'm a joy to be around on Thanksgiving.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, no, I was a little grumpy yesterday. I let Matt Eberflus get to me a little bit. I don't know why. I was grumpy about it yesterday, and then I had the realization at about 10 o'clock last night. It's like, well, they can't fire him because they play the Niners next, and of course they fired him, so Niners get to deal with that next week. But we're here to talk about this week, 49ers and the Bills. We got Jay Spence joining us here in a little bit, but let's just talk injuries because it's a 49ers podcast, Jason. When do we not talk about injuries? Let's start with a little bit of the good. Brock Purdy threw today. Sounds like he's on track. We're already better than we were last week because at this point last week he was ruled out. Questionable. Sounds like he's playing. However, the 49ers are going to be without Nick Bosa, Trent Williams once again. Diamador Lenore is out. Aaron Banks is out. Jordan Elliott is out. It doesn't feel like the list of names you want on an out list before you play the 9-2 Buffalo Bills and potentially a blizzard. Jason, what are your thoughts? I mean, thoughts are probably the same as every injury before, but specifically for this game, what are we feeling with the Bills?
Well, it's not what you want, obviously. But I do want to kind of tell 49er fans that even if all of these players were there, it still would probably be not worth, like getting excited for this game. But I do want to point to some things that could be positives. Obviously, Jalen Moore played very well in place of Trent Williams. So that's something that you can keep an eye on and hope that he can do back-to-back things. And then I was under the assumption that it would be Spencer Burford who would step in for Aaron Banks. But now it's sounding like, and I think Brock let the cat out of the bag by saying it's going to be Ben Bartch, which I have to say, Andrew, in a year where I have been critical of Kyle Shanahan, I'm going to continue to criticize this move. What on earth are you going to see from Ben Bartch that you probably can't learn from Spencer Burford by getting him in on the left side and allowing him to play? It's just this like allegiance to like, oh, I trust him and I don't care. Let's see what Spencer Burford has. Because if Spencer Burford ends up being good and Aaron Banks walks like we think he will in free agency, then you've given him an audition. Ben Bartch isn't the future of the left guard position, and Ben Bartch isn't going to save the 49ers on the left side. Let's see what the young man has. He's formerly on the left side. Put him there. Come on, man. Like, this is annoying.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I have a hard time going with the let's see what guys got. I know Burford's a little, Burford's played a bit. We know what he is. It's tough to go that route because, again, like Jason, we mentioned it on Monday that if we were, I don't know, Rams fans, for example, and this was going on, I'd be a little more pressed to say, like, yeah, let's find out let's see what they got. But this team came in with Super Bowl aspirations. You can't give up on the playoffs until you're mathematically out, and a loss in Buffalo may or may not do it. I know the NFC West is wide open, which just I wish we were in a division where a team was running away with the West because I'm tired of pretending like the NFC West because like it's there, but like it's not really.
Andrew,
so I don't know.
What did we say? They're not mathematically eliminated. They're eliminated in our heart and mind.
They're eliminated off of vibes. If vibes
right.
The
vibes have already eliminated them because if they lose again, remember we've done the math. You lose 2 more games, you're out. You're probably going to lose Sunday. And you mean to tell me that team's going to walk out there and beat the Detroit Lions later on in the year?
I have the exact numbers if you want them. I mentioned it on Monday. I was off a little bit. So since the NFL playoffs expanded from the 12 team to the 14 team, 11 7 loss teams have existed 11 teams have lost 7 games. All 11 have made the playoffs. So mathematically, the Niners get 1 loss at least, right? 100% of 7-loss teams have made the playoffs. And I know there's a lot of variables with each season. Maybe 7 losses is not enough this year, but I'm just going off of history. Since 2020, there's been 21 8-loss teams. 7 have made the playoffs. 2 have been division winners. So that 8th loss, you're already going from a 100% playoff chance to a 33% playoff chance. And then 9 losses, we could honestly don't even need to talk about 9 losses. 12 9-loss teams, 2 have made the playoffs. Those 2 were the 2020 Washington Commanders. They won the NFC East. And the 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they won the NFC South. So the only way you're making the playoffs
is to win the division.
Win the division. And that's a big ask. So I know we like to talk about it with the early season struggles of, is the week 4 game against the Patriots a must win. This is what a must win actually looks like.
Correct.
Right? This is what a must win looks like.
I mean,
again, ideally, we don't even want to worry about the 7-loss thing because only one 6-loss team has missed the playoffs since 2020, and that was the 10-6 Miami Dolphins. That's because 3 teams in the NFC or the AFC North lost 5 games. That's not happening in the NFC this year. So, if the Niners just don't lose again, they're making the playoffs. We're feeling good. So, must win. I don't like that it's against the Buffalo Bills, and we're going to have plenty of Bills conversation here in a second. I'll let you get one last point in, Jason, then we'll bring in our guest to talk some Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and there are some positives. Obviously, Charvarius Ward's back. And what we kind of left out is that Dre Greenlaw's 21-day practice window was open, but he's not going to play in this game as well. Sounds like he has a better chance of playing. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 49ers have a Thursday game again against the Bears. So that's why you really can't rush him back in this way. So, yeah, Charvarius Ward's back. Obviously, you lose Diamador Lenore. It's almost like, robbing Peter to pay Paul when it comes to those guys because Demo's been our best cover corner. And obviously getting Dre Greenlaw even just in the mode to go. But, I think if all those guys were there, you feel a little bit better about this game. But I don't see how you could think that the 49ers were going to be favorites in this one. And again, you don't have to worry about the 49ers tanking. It's the elegant tank. They're trying, but they're going to lose and tank for you. It's elegant. It's not them quitting, right? Like they're trying. So we don't have to change anything. Just keep going out there and doing what you've been doing, and we'll get the draft pick that we deserve.
Yep. Jason said one game out of a playoff spot, 1 game out of the 10th pick. You said that, and now all I want to do is make the playoffs. But it's that kind of season for the Niners. But hey, we've been depressing enough about the season. Let's talk about the depressing game on Sunday. We are bringing in our Buffalo Bills guy from the Rumblings Network. It is Jay Spence. Jay Spence, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They showed it this year. How are you doing today, though?
Man, I'm fantastic. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. How's it going?
Oh, it's fantastic out in Sacramento. It's freezing cold, but I don't want to say it's freezing cold because California freezing cold is 50 degrees, and Niners going to play in Buffalo where it's actually freezing cold. So, Friday could be better, but it's pretty good right now talking football.
And I tell you what, Buffalo is getting a lake effect snow ban like right now tonight. It's going to hit. So by the time the game comes, there's probably going to be about 12 to 18 inches of snow. So it's going to be an environment that I don't think the 49ers are used to. I'll be honest, I don't think the Bills players are used to either. Like those guys, I don't know. I know a lot of Bills fans say it's a home field advantage. Josh lives in California. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like the snow. I don't see how it's a home field advantage. I wish we would have built a dome, but whatever.
I'm praying for the snow, and that's where we'll start because I think that's a big storyline with this. The dumb reason I'm praying for the snow, and maybe the most depressing sequence of words I've put together for NinersNation.com. Jason and I write for NinersNation.com in case you guys don't know that. I mentioned that one of my numbers to know this week was the coordinates of Buffalo because they're very north, and when you get closer to the farther away from the equator, it gets cold. But the point I tried to make was, well, in 2019, there was a really good Niners team that beat a really bad Commanders team 9-0. 2022, there was a really good Niners team that lost in a monsoon to a really bad Chicago Bears team. The only hope I have is the weather gets a kind of bad Niners team to somehow upset a really good Bill. That's all I'm holding on to is the weather makes this game a little closer. Is that you kind of alluded to it? That's a bit of a concern that the weather's going to actually maybe harm the Bills more than help.
Well, okay. I was saying that as a fan who moved out of Buffalo.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
But when it comes to football, I think I I want to be very clear. I'm not. Jason is my guy. I'm not coming on here to talk crap. When I say this, I'm just being as honest as possible. The snow is why we drafted Josh Allen.
Okay.
So it's like, to think that the 49ers, who are in California with nice kind of, you guys got good weather out there, and you got the beach and all this good stuff. You wear shorts almost all year round, probably like 10 months out the year. They wear shorts out there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you're not coming to Buffalo and going to teach Buffalo how to have a snow game. That's not going to happen.
I have a question, and it pertains to the comment that's right here as well, too. What does this engagement of Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld mean for this game? And this comment is out of pocket, and it's always JKBG who does this, man. Shout out to him, man. He always never stops to make us laugh. But congrats to him, like legit. But there's two ways of looking at this, because for me, I look at it and I'm like, oh no, like this man is full of romance, and these next few days are going to be great for him and everything. And he's just going to go out there and blitz the 49ers, or he might be a little weak on Sunday because he's doing a little bit too much romance. Yeah. So what do you think about that one, Jay?
No, I hear you. The thing that I look at, this is just like, this is probably the wrong word to use right now, but this is the climax of the season. Like he's been in love all year, like from the beginning of the year, from the offseason after Stephon Diggs got traded. Everything was about the two of these, like this couple right here. This is the whole story. We were getting TMZ stories in Buffalo. This never happens. So, Josh I think it's been like a fairy tale season for him anyway. Like I love the Bills more than probably just, most people. And I did not anticipate a 9-2 season. I thought we were taking a step back. We lost our two top receiving options. We lost the leadership on defense. We lost, like, it was so much that we lost. So I just figured, okay, the Bills are taking a step back. We look like the best version of the Buffalo Bills I've seen since Josh Allen has been drafted right now. So I don't know. I think he's already in this, this Disney story right now, or this Marvel movie, and no pun intended there. And, so now I think the Bills are actually going for that number one seed. So as much as, I heard you talk about how this is obviously a must win, you don't want to talk about the other side of it, and how, I understand. And I think there's a lot of good to be said about your team. And I hope we get a chance for me to talk on that side. But I just think that when it comes to right now, I think the Bills are a team. We have our weaknesses for sure. And I think your team has the strengths that completely destroy our weaknesses, which is why I'm nervous about this game. But when it comes to just like the overall big picture of things, I think the Buffalo Bills are motivated to, we haven't gotten that number one seed. We haven't been the big dogs over the Chiefs, and we still won't. Even if we get the number one seed, they're the defending Super Bowl champions. So we're not the big dogs, but that's what they want, that respect this year. They want to go in there now like, you know what? We didn't get it. They thought we were going to take a step back. We're better. We're going to shut Spence up, and all of this stuff. And now they're doing it. And I just think now they're on this mission to try to really to prove a point and just go in there and dominate. So I think I'm nervous. I think it's going to be a great game.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I want to hear some of the positive things you have to say
about
the
Niners. Ever humble as always. Humble.
We have a segment where when things get really bad, we do say something positive about the 49ers. So maybe if you got some good things to say about them, we'll do that in a little bit here. So I can hear some good things. I need to hear some good things about the 49ers right now.
It's not even fake. I'm telling you, like I've been there. So First, you guys have to, and I know you understand this because I know Jason, he know ball for real. And I know 49ers fans are smart, which is why I love the fan base. You have to look at the injuries that you've had throughout the year and understand where you are. You got to look at, like, there's so many reasons why you are where you are, but then you're not far. Like in reality, you're still not far from like the top of your division. So you got two bad Kyler Murray games. You got a couple bad, Geno Smith games, and a couple good Brock games or whatever. And then all of a sudden the 49ers are first in the division. And it's like, how the hell did this happen? So like, I understand that it's like, it's not last year. I get it, but it's not as bad. You guys had the wrong injuries. That's all it was. You guys are a great team. And I'm nervous because how does Christian McCaffrey get injured? And then you have a guy that leads the league I don't understand. Like, how do you get a guy that nobody knows of? But that's the league.
That's
What?
part of the issue, though, is McCaffrey has come back, and the guy who led the league in rushing has gotten 6 carries compared to McCaffrey's 49 or something like that. So, like,
Well,
Jordan Mason's just not even a thing anymore at this
but
point.
your coach is smart, man. Y'all gonna figure that out, and when you do, it's gonna be scary because what's gonna happen is McCaffrey's gonna start to look like McCaffrey, and then when he does, you're still gonna have you're gonna figure it out, and your team is gonna dominate on the ground, and that's my problem because the Buffalo Bills, when you look at not every game, you got a couple games where it looks like, oh, the Buffalo Bills can kind of defend against the run, but it's not against teams with good running backs, and you have 2 of them. You don't just have one, you have 2 of them. And so Sarah in the comments even said CMC could destroy us. And the thing is, it's not even just destroy us in the sense of like he has a big game. It's like he can go off, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, you got Mason coming in just to give him a breather, and he breaks off a 40-yard run. We cannot defend the run.
Yeah, and that's one of the notes I have too. Actually, I wrote about it. Is Buffalo allows? They're technically not one of the worst teams against the run. They're like middle of the league in terms of total yardage, but that's because they faced the 6th fewest rushes in this season, 270. They're averaging 4.9 rushing yards per attempt. That's the 3rd worst in the league. So it really, like, the key is, and this just sounds like simple football, is Niners just got to maintain the run game, get a lead, and that's the path to victory here. It's not Brock Purdy. It's not forcing turnovers would be great, but that Buffalo, if you can maintain the run game against Buffalo and keep the game close, that's probably the path for the 49ers. And I'm glad you agree with that. That makes me feel good that I did my research well, that, hey, the run game's right there for the Niners to take advantage of.
100%. Now, the Buffalo Bills have made a couple of moves in the past few weeks to where, like they picked up a couple free agents towards the end of, like once teams let guys go and all that stuff. And then we're getting some guys back from injury.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, actually. That's exactly where I was going, dude. So obviously, out of the bye, that's another great thing, right? Like, and you have Keon Coleman returning. You're still integrating Amari Cooper. That feels good. But the impact of Matt Milano, I want you to talk to me about that because that is so huge. And the thing is, you guys have been doing this without him. And you've already got a very good secondary, and it's very hard to throw the football against these guys at times, right? But just talk to me about what Matt Milano is and what that addition to this team is. And if you could correlate it to what a 49ers, what it would be like if we got a player back from the 49ers that would be similar in impact.
Well, okay. I'll put it like this. So when we first started the show, I mentioned how I thought we would take a step back because of so many factors. The biggest factor was Matt Milano being absent from this football team. I get it. He's there during the week and he's on the sideline, so his presence is there, but he's not on the field. And he's one of the best cover linebackers in the NFL. He's one of the best tackling linebackers in the NFL. He can intercept the ball. He can rush the quarterback. He's one of those. He's a freak. He can kind of do everything. This is the equivalent of the 49ers. I mean, I know you just got CMC back. He doesn't seem like CMC yet, but this is getting CMC back on the Super Bowl run at the right time. You're going up against, I don't know, Green Bay. That's your thorn, right? Or both sides are the thorn. You're going up against Green Bay. You get CMC back and he goes off for 250. Like this is who Matt Milano is to the defense of the Buffalo Bills. And the idea that he's been healthy now, he's healthy on the injury report. He's playing. Like I'm excited for that. And so like all season we couldn't defend the run. Now I have hope. I'm nervous because I haven't seen it, but I have hope because it's like now we got that boy back. We got Matt back.
Yeah, and that's good too because you mentioned Christian McCaffrey and the Niners and the Bills struggle. McCaffrey hasn't really been McCaffrey yet, and part of me wants to say is he's coming back from the Achilles injury, but the way Shanahan has used him, it tells me there's no ill effects to the Achilles. So it feels like it's going to be a good matchup on Sunday night with McCaffrey ideally getting back to form against the Bills team with Milano coming back and that defense. So I'm excited for that one. The other thing I'm excited for, obviously, is Josh Allen. I think if this game had happened in recent years, we would talk about the Niners' opportunistic secondary taking advantage of Josh Allen's turnover issues. Well, this season, Josh Allen has just completely erased the turnovers. Buffalo's at a 6.3 turnover percentage. It's the 4th best in the league this season. Last year, they were at 15%, so that's almost a 10% drop-off. Allen, 5 interceptions, 5 fumbles through 11 games this season. Last year, was at 12 interceptions. what's the big thing with Josh Allen from last year to this season as to why those turnovers have been cut? Because it's not even like a slight, like it's not like it was a last year at 15%, this year a little better. This is a last year you were not good, and now you just not turned the ball. So what has been the big change for Josh Allen in not throwing those interceptions?
He's the alpha, and he can play how he feels.
That's a great answer.
That's 100% it. Stephon, I don't think people understand. So, like, obviously, the quarterback is the guy. The quarterback is the face of the franchise, and the quarterback is he's the guy. But in that locker room, Stephon Diggs' presence and his, it's like being in a relationship. You ever be, you got your lady, and like when you mess up, and just her being in the house, you feel in the house how bad it is. That's what it was like in the locker room last year. And then on top of it, he demanded the ball. So what happens is there were times when Josh wanted to, you know what, let me go ahead and spread this thing around. Let's move the ball. Let's do this thing the way we're supposed to do it. Steph starts crying, starts complaining. And I love Steph, so I'm not sitting here dogging him in that sense. But he wants the ball. You force it to him. Then when you're not able to get it to him because he's being double teamed or they're scheming for him, I'm gonna force it to Gabe, because Gabe is giving us games of 153 yards and 3 touchdowns. So let's get him the ball. 70. You can look this stat up. This is a real stat. 70% of his interceptions last year were targets to Gabe Davis. So when you're forcing it to a certain player because of that, and both those guys are gone, now what you're able to do is you have guys that might not be the best at getting down the field. You might not have guys that are best at whatever, but you have guys that are good at kind of getting open. And if they have a window, Josh is going to get it to him because he has the type of arm, he can get it to you like this. So if you're open for a split second, he's getting it to the guy that's open. He's spreading it around. This season, I think what we're seeing from Josh, this is the way he's wanted to play, but he hasn't been able to because the presence of Stephon Diggs has just been so dominant in the locker room. So this is the year, you remember, when Peyton Manning was terrible, right? When he first came into the league. And then it seemed like all of a sudden he got good and he was calling the shots at the line. Like he became the wizard at the line. This is the beginning of that for Josh Allen.
Okay.
Like this is the year where like now you're going to start to see going forward. And if I'm wrong, Cole, take me. I'm not, again, this is not a diss to 40. I love 49ers. So I'm just more so saying like, this is where you see Josh go from the guy where you're like, he should maybe be MVP to like, he's really in the conversation every year now. Like you're going to start to see this guy have less and less interceptions, less and less mistakes in games. When we lose, it's going to be because of Sean McDermott. It's not going to be because of 2 interceptions and a fumble,
Yeah. And I think partly too is last year when Ken Dorsey was the play caller, it almost felt like, well, I don't like this play call, but Josh is going to bail us out. And it forced him to play a little bit of YOLO ball at times. And then when Brady takes over, you get back to running the football and you kind of contain it. Not that you're containing his greatness, but you're getting him into game managing mode and you're putting him in a spot now where he can be advantageous. And then when you need that play, it's always in there. It's always
you look at the Chiefs game. That the touchdown, the run that everybody is saying for him is the play of his season so far. That's exactly what happened. We haven't seen that Josh all year. All year we haven't seen it. And in that moment, he recognized, okay, I got to do this. But the problem was last season and the season before, it was really him doing that every game. Every game, all season. Josh was exhausted by the time we got to the playoffs. And it's not an excuse. We lost. We got our ass kicked every season. Every year besides the 13-second season. We got our asses kicked.
Well, last year, I mean, there was a field goal miss and Stephon Diggs dropped that pass.
I'm going to tell you what, we got our asses kicked. And I'm going to tell you why. Because our coach is stupid as hell, okay? Why? First of all, why do you go into a game without a healthy punter in the playoffs against the goddamn Chiefs? Can I say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
Okay. And then secondary from that, you run a fake damn punt on your side of the field with Damar Hamlin. Where does that make sense? How does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you forgot about that.
Yeah.
You know why you forgot about that? Because Jordan Poyer got a turnover on the goal line, so the Chiefs didn't score. If the Chiefs would have got just 3 points on that drive, we would have wanted Sean McDermott. I wanted him fired. Mm-hmm. But now I sound stupid because he's 9-2. But I wanted him fired after that, man.
I forgot.
The fact they tried to get a Disney Channel moment for Damar Hamlin in a playoff game is amazing. Is amazing.
Get this guy out of here. What are we doing?
No, they got the number on the ambulance there. You can't get rid of him. No, is that bad? Is that too soon? No, I apologize. Right. Sometimes I say things and Jason makes faces and I'm not sure. But yeah, no, you're right. It's a wild play to call in a playoff game, especially.
And I get it. I get what DeMar means to the game now.
Yes,
I get what he means to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about none of that. You run a fake punt against the Chiefs in the playoffs at home on your side of the field.
Dan Campbell wouldn't even do that. I don't think. Like, I got one more question about Josh Allen because, and this one comes from a place of jealousy a little bit. I grew up the era of football I grew up in, was 2000s, and I enjoyed the Bills. Willis McGahee, Marshawn Lynch, all that. Yeah. I enjoyed the Bills, so I always would pay attention to the Bills, and I always felt like there was a parallel between the Buffalo Bills and 49, not because of Chris Berman, but they could just never figure out the quarterback position. They always felt like they would have good pieces around it. I remember I'm a big Florida State fan, so I was a believer in EJ Manuel. I thought he was going to fix the Bills. But the parallel has now stopped. How fucking cool is it to find a franchise quarterback? That's got to be cool for you, right? Because I thought we found one at least 3 times. Kaepernick, Garoppolo for a second, I guess, and Brock Purdy, right? But we still haven't found it. And oh my God, Trey Lance!
How could you forget? How could you forget? Literally,
the greatest preseason throw in NFL history, Jason Aponte. But no, how cool is it to after years of searching to finally hit on the quarterback, and now for the next 15 years of your football life, you do not have to worry about how cool is that?
Real quick before he goes, real quick, because in our private chat when the intro came on, he's like, "You got to take Trey out of that intro, man." He did say that. It's hard to find people to make videos. So if anybody's watching this and you want to make a new video for the Sprint Right option, please feel free. But it's
only caveat is the only reason the Trey Lance intro has stayed is the song is the banger.
It's the bop. That's it. Like if you can keep the song, change the video.
Yeah, that's the only reason we have Trey Lance still in is the song is so good. But anyways,
bye. Go ahead, Jay Spence.
How cool is it that you got Josh Allen?
Because I saw it. I'm like, they gotta, you know,
you gotta get Trey out of there.
Yeah,
they gotta move on. But no, listen, man, I'm in love, man. I can't even hold you. Like being a Bills fan. So you're right. That is a parallel, and I've been a 49ers fan. I enjoy watching the 49ers, and so I understand what you mean by that. But I've been jealous of y'all. So I want you to pump your brakes for a second, because you got to the Super Bowl with Kaepernick. Y'all got to the Super Bowl. Like y'all had teams. We didn't make the playoffs, my man, for 17 years. Like, so when I tell you I love Joshua Patrick Allen with every fiber in my body.
Like you got the middle name in there. That's how you know it's true.
Dog, when I tell you I love him. Like when I tell you I love him. I couldn't lie to you. I'm not lying.
Yes,
it's the best feeling in the world. Like I'm out here in Phoenix, man. People be talking stuff, and they love Kyler out here and everything. But then, as soon as I say, "Oh no, I'm a Bills fan," you just see like they deflate, and it's so fun. It's so much.
It's got to be so cool having a franchise quarterback. Just
man,
so
awesome.
just for like Niner fans were. This is a very I don't know how tapped into 49ers Twitter you're in. Niners fans were arguing last week about whether Brandon Allen or Joshua Dobbs would be the right starter against the Packers. That's how like deep into the weeds we are with this quarterback stuff. And like you just get to sit there and be like, "Yeah, I got Josh Allen." That's pretty cool. I'm 100% a place of jealousy.
The thing is, though, cool. I'm gonna tell you, and I know you guys are probably sick at this point. I wish we had your coach. I wish we had your coach. I swear.
We're one of the few places that aren't sick of him yet. Like we're one of the okay.
Oh yeah, don't look around and ask certain people. For whatever it's worth, I think a lot of 49er fans they don't understand that criticizing the coach and their decisions doesn't mean we need to move on. And if Kyle Shanahan was let go right now, before he walked to his car, there would be 7, 8 contract offers right away. And I'm not saying that's the reason that you hold on to him. But it's just everywhere else, everyone has, like you said, I wish we had your coach. And we've got sections of our fan base that are saying, I want this guy gone that took this team from 2017 to where we're at right now. That's a little over the top for me. Criticize all you want, but come on, man. Let's slow down. Look at what just happened. You want Matt Eberflus? You want
not even that far. Not even that far, bro. Y'all just just went to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. Like let me. I don't think people understand how incredible that is. Like, y'all went to the Super Bowl with Mr. Irrelevant, and I know he doesn't play like Mr. Irrelevant every Sunday. You know why? Because the offense is that incredible. Like, the offense that your head coach installs and that he puts in, it's second to none, man. And if I had that for Josh Allen, man,
yeah, it'd be cool, huh? Yeah. How about this? Let's just meet in the middle. We'll combine the two teams.
Let's do that. And I just need a bowl for both of us. So that's it.
Hey, I love this. And I've said this to you many times, right? If there was like a time where someone told me, hey, you can't cover the 49ers in any fashion. No podcasting. You know, we're getting rid of you from Niners Nation. No more SB Nation. None of that.
Yep.
And I had to pick a different team.
Yeah.
I'd
probably be the Buffalo Bills. And
for me, and we've had this talk. It's the 49ers for me, man. I love everything about that team. I love the fan base. To me, like you said, you know, I agree with you, man. Like, it's to me, they're mirror fan bases, man.
It is.
I think the difference is you've had more success.
Yeah,
you know, but
other than
more fun, like,
you have more fun though.
We've had the
more fun though.
That's just because we drink more. We don't have fun.
But that you have more fun.
Have you ever put yourself through a table?
I have not, because I've had back issues, so I refuse. I'm like, nah, I need to live.
No, one of my favorite trends when I used to see is they used to put the hoop behind visiting fans, and a guy would just come and they throw him a lob and dunk on him. I think that's hilarious because I think that's fun banter without being over the top and also being, you know, antagonizing. I think if you're there, you just kind of go like that.
We get wild though, like
us too though.
No,
we fight each other.
I think 32
look.
Oh, yes,
hold up.
yes.
Jay Spence.
Yes, I promise.
Let me tell you something. Let me give you a quick. This is just 49ers Twitter.
That's just Twitter, yeah.
We dox each other. Yep. We invite each other to fight at games.
Yep.
We say, yo, I seen you and you weren't talking. No. Listen, 49er fans get it in. They dox each other. They're sleeping with each other's wives.
You need to send Jay Spence the Twitter space video. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, dude. During the time when a lot of us wanted Trey Lance to play, these spaces would turn into I'm gonna come find you and kill you. Yeah. There's no football discussions.
Wild.
Yes.
If you, there was a period of times where if you merely suggested Jimmy Garoppolo was better than Trey Lance, you're almost writing a death wish.
Or if you said that I believe Jimmy Garoppolo gives us the best chance to win football games today, not down the line, it was literally I want to see you and fight you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe y'all a little intense. Maybe
a little bit.
A little intense. we trip out. We get drunk, jump through tables and stuff, and drink liquor out of bowling balls. Disgusting. But we don't. I haven't seen that. Y'all right.
No, we might be onto something here, though. Is this the difference? Niner fans and Bills fans. Is this the difference of missing the playoffs for 17 years and being able to let go in December, and Niner fans having to for multiple times? Niners don't have quick playoff exits. They drag us along all the way till the end, and so we get a little grumpier with those exits. And now anytime they lose, it's worse. So maybe that's why you guys are nice, is the playoffs haven't broken you yet, and Niner fans are broken by the playoffs.
Listen, we stuck up now. We're getting spoiled now, and I don't like it. I don't like it because I recognize how easy it is and how quick you could go from where we are to like. We're acting like Patriots fans and we haven't won a Super Bowl. I don't like it.
Whoa.
I have a question to kind of get this back onto the football discussion. So obviously Trent Williams isn't playing. Jalen Moore, who was fine against the Green Bay Packers, actually more than fine, the best offensive lineman on the field. What's the ramifications of that on the left side? Because it sounds like Ben Barch is going to be starting for us in front of Aaron Banks, which you heard me talk about earlier. I disagree. I think Spencer Burford should be playing, but Jalen Moore, Spencer Burford, we already have this is a real stat as well, too, and you can look this up. Out of 38 centers in the NFL, we have the 38th worst center in the NFL, and there's only 32 teams. So, I mean, you can do the math right there, right? What's the ramifications of this left side not having their starting guys, even if they are solid? You have to laugh at that. You literally have to laugh at that. He's 38 out of 38, and it's only 32 teams. I don't know how it's possible, but it is. Jake Brendel's ranked 38th, but this left side is going to see two guys that are normally not there. What's the ramifications of that with the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills?
You ain't have to come at my man like that. First of all, I'm
No,
just saying.
it's just an objective fact. It's just an objective
Okay,
fact.
it's just
He
a
is
fact.
every time when I watch the film, he's either on the floor or watching someone
Yeah.
on the floor, just looking down. Like and 49er fans, no, I'm not doing anything crazy. Look, Jay Brundle seems like a really nice guy, but these are the objective facts. That's all.
All right, I feel you. What I love about the Bills defense this year is I don't know the number. I haven't looked up the numbers. I don't know the stats, but the thing is, our defensive coordinator has learned how to rush the quarterback in the rhythm of the game, and so Groot and Oliver gonna eat, and that is a fact, because what's gonna happen is if we see any type of weakness on that line, we're gonna take advantage of that weakness. We might not do it every week. I love that. I feel like every single week there's a different game plan. There's some weeks where we're trying to take away the pass game and not necessarily go for sacks. Then there's other weeks where it's like, no, we don't want this dude to get rid of the ball. Let's go get him. And we saw that against Geno Smith. We saw what type of offense the Seattle Seahawks have. We didn't let them do anything. That's a different. I think this week we're going to try to focus in on that run game. So I think it's going to be a little bit different. And I think, if I haven't looked. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been Thanksgiving, so don't beat me up, everybody. Normally, I do a little more research. Is Brock playing? Is he
More likely than not?
It's still uncertain.
He was a full participant today. Last week
Okay.
he was already ruled out. So that's your good sign. And Brandon Allen, for what it's worth, was wearing scout team of the week jersey. Okay. So so it sounds like Brock is ready to start.
Shanahan said as of this moment he's playing. They see how he's doing, but you also
I hate when he words it like that.
And that's the point I wanted to make. The caveat with the wording is what you got to go back to is Christian McCaffrey was supposed to play in week 1 up until 90 minutes before week 1, and then he was out for 6 weeks. So every word that Shanahan says about injuries, take with a grain of salt.
And also, Fred Warner's been playing on a fractured ankle since week 4. And it's just like I said, like I forget which show I joked. It's just like I can't wait for the end of the year when Brock Purdy says, "Yeah, my scapula and my spine was broken," and we're just like, "Wait, what?" And you're out there playing, but so like take it with a grain of salt. But like as of right now, we think Brock's playing. Let's just set it to that.
Okay, well, so obviously Brock is the better option. So Brock is going to run the offense better. But the thing is, if there's any type of weakness on that offensive line, we're going to exploit it. And it might not be something that it looks like the Bills are dominant in, but when they need to do it, example with the Chiefs game, when they felt like, hey, there's a weakness on an offensive line that we can exploit, and we don't want to see Jennings go off. We don't want Kittle to get the ball at all. We don't want Debo to see the fit. We don't want it. Let's get to this guy. So I think this week you're going to see Groot, you're going to see Oliver. I even think, this is one of those moments where it's like vintage Von Miller show makes an appearance. He's had a couple weeks where he's kind of has some pressures or he's done a little, but these are the moments where it's like, it's the game. It's the night game, Sunday night. The whole country's going to be watching. I'm Von Miller. He's going. So it's like I feel like this is one of those games. So I'm just like for me, I'm looking to see the defense really attack that off. I mean, your offensive line, but I'm more so trying to see what Matt Milano is going to bring to that run defense. That's my biggest concern. But to your point, we're going to attack the offensive line.
One more thing. I gotta make.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, one more thing. So George Kittle's been the best 49ers offensive player this season. And the number is he has the most red zone receptions in the NFL. He has the most red zone touchdowns in the NFL. And this red zone offense has been anemic. So think about how far off they would be without George Kittle. What would you say is the Bills' answer to trying to slow down George Kittle? Because my biggest complaint is, why are you not spamming throwing the football at him more and more and more? Because it seems like every time he touches the ball, even in that Green Bay game, he makes a play, and he's obviously converting in the red zone. What would you say is the Bills' answer to slowing down George Kittle, who's probably, even though there was a season where he broke the tight end record for receiving yards, I would argue this is his best season from an efficiency standpoint. He's only 11 targets have not been completed to him. His success rate is through the roof. He looks like the only player still with juice. What would you say is the Bills' way of slowing him down?
The Italian stallion, Matt Milano.
Matt Milano. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. So with Matt coming back, if Matt is, first of all, obviously it wasn't like a injury where he needed surgery on his core, or it wasn't like a chest injury. It was an arm injury, so he was still in shape. So Matt's gonna be Matt. This isn't gonna be like one of those things where he needs a couple games to kind of get into the swing of things. Again, I said it earlier, he's one of the best, if not, I don't know who we would put there, but he's one of the top 3 cover linebackers in the league. And that's the part when we don't play the Chiefs, I was nervous. I'm thinking, man, we're not going to be able to cover Kelsey. And then lately, what's his face been going on? I don't remember.
Noah Gray.
Yeah, Gray been going off, man.
Noah Gray's next, man.
All this stuff. Like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. So if Matt Milano comes back and he's 80% of Matt Milano, he's still, I trust him more than what we've had to cover George Kittle in the red zone. I trust him so much.
Want to go back to something you just said about the Bills looking to attack any weak spots on offensive lines. Ask this question facetiously, obviously, but you mentioned only attacking one weak spot. Hypothetically, the 49ers have about 3 or 4 weak spots. Could that be too many weak spots for the Bills to have to take advantage of to where it actually might hurt them? Or is it just all of it you're going to attack? Like that was my first thought of you saying finding one weak spot. The 49ers have about 3 weak spots on the line.
No, I think what you'll see is obviously if you with Trent being out, you're going to see them attack that side. Yeah. But if there's 4 weaknesses, 3 weaknesses, I'm telling you, what they like to do every once in a while, they'll bring in Teron Johnson out the nickel corner slot. They'll bring him in and he'll jump in there and he'll come up with a sack out of nowhere. It's like, or they'll bring a cornerback or they'll bring down a safety. And it'll just be something where, at random moments, it's just a different way of doing things, but they'll get it done. I think that's kind of how they'll attack this game, especially with, because the thing is, no, CMC hasn't looked like him, but with that line being the way, if we send that blitz, let's just say this is the game that he kind of regains form. You don't want your ACLs or ankles to be the ones snatched on national TV that night.
Yeah. The only bright spot on the Niners offensive line is Dominic Puny. So yeah, that's just what it is. So that's really it. So
that's it. The only thing is too, is that another reason why people are frustrated, they're like, oh, you're playing Christian McCaffrey too much and everything, is just, the trust in pass pro. And when it looks like the first game in Tampa Bay, Isaac Guerrero literally blew up a play that was supposed to be a touchdown because he didn't know where he was going to be. And that's the quickest way to get yourself in the famed Shanahan doghouse. So everyone's looking for Christian McCaffrey to break out, but it's just having him on the field. You have that trust in pass pro that he understands stunts. He understands where the pressure's coming from. He can get there. He's one of the better pass protecting running backs. And we all just get caught up in the catches and everything. It's hard to take that off the field when one mistake can lead to a turnover. And we saw it happen, like Brandon Allen fumbling the football, all that stuff. That's the part that I think why we all want to see Jordan Mason play a little bit more, because 1, we're worried about Christian McCaffrey's Achilles. 2 is just, can he pass pro? And I think when you have teams that it seems like around the league, everything is press all these guys and try to get the ball out quickly. And that's the thing. It's like when everyone's like, well, what about the protections and audibles at the line? It's teams are blitzing you so you can get the ball out quickly, and they'll take their 4 or 5 yard completion and just wrap up and tackle at this point. Mm-hmm. Like they no longer fear the yards after the catch. They no longer fear that. And it doesn't allow these routes to develop. So that's why Christian McCaffrey's on there. It just feels like this offense has just been put in a position where, yes, the answers are in the play call, as Kyle says, because if it comes from the left and you have numbers there, throw into the blitz. If you have it from another way, then you know where to throw it. But that's what teams are trying to do to you, is they don't want to give up the explosives. And they know that this team this season is not built for yak right now at this point.
No, I mean, everything that you're saying is obviously, spot on, because you know what you're talking about. But I think just overall, the concerns that you guys have going into this game, I don't think you're giving yourselves enough credit. I'm gonna just go there.
Thank you.
Well, we'll say this: it's our frustration, and retired the number 10 jersey now has been what I've been saying. Now that Ronnie Bell's not here anymore, no 49ers player. I don't care what 49ers player joins. If they want to have number 10, no.
The idea I had is if you retire 10, instead of putting Garoppolo on it, you put the idea of Jimmy Garoppolo over it. I think that's the best way you could retire number 10.
But what our issue is that we're in week 13, right? Now, this will be the 12th game for the 49ers.
Yep.
We haven't seen the 49ers put together 4 quarters one time this season. Not one time. And 4 quarters means just you can play a full 4-quarter game and still lose. Look, I'll tell you this. We're expecting a loss. But if the 49ers go out there and they put together 4 quarters where they don't constantly penalize themselves, the special teams isn't shooting themselves in the foot, there's horrible turnovers, I will feel better about that. There's no moral victories in this league. There's no moral victories. But I think it's the reason that we're down on this team is that last season, there was just a 3-game stretch where there was some adversity. And for the most part, we just ran all over everybody. And now this season seems to be everything is tough. Everything's hard. And this team has just seemed to lose, regardless of injuries, seemed to lose the way of just being able to play competent football. And that's far more frustrating than just being outclassed, outmatched, having a better roster out there. It's all those things can happen, but this team has just not done it. And I think that's why so many 49ers fans are just down on this team right now, is because usually you can see a semblance of a team ready to turn the corner. Usually you can point to games where you're like, there it is. We've literally gotten 2 quarters that looked like that team last year out of this season where we're like, there they are again. And everything else has just been a team that's been unrecognizable from last season.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Marv Levy, the coach of the Bills in the 90s, he said, depth is good until you got to use it. Right. So it's like, yeah, you talk about how deep your roster is. And it's like, yeah, man, we got guys that could start on your team until you have to start them. And what happens is, like, you have a season like this and it's disappointing after, you guys being deep in the playoffs 2-3 years. Like every year, it seems like you guys are either there or almost there. And so a year like this is disappointing. But again, I don't know. I always feel like I'm more positive about other, I'm more optimistic about other people's teams than they are, because I look at it from an outside perspective. Like, look, and I'm in Phoenix at the same time. Like I'm actually living in the city in your division. Yeah. And the way the conversation is, yep, but we know that, the Cardinals are they're gonna figure out a way to lose they're gonna lose the lead on the division. And that's the conversation out here. And it's one of those things where I'm watching the games and look, I get it. You guys are upset. You don't have the 4 quarters that you want to see. You don't have, listen, man, you're not out of it. No, you're not out of it. Like if you were a Jets fan, we could be having this conversation. If you're a Giants fan out there, or we could talk to man. Let's talk my division. If you're a Dolphins fan right now, first of all, shout out to the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all for being ass, right? Shout out to the Jets for being completely terrible. Yeah. Shout out to my man Aaron Rodgers. You a legend. Not now though. Shout out to the Jets.
Wait, you know what's funny too? You know what's funny too? And this is just a little bit of a teaser, because I'm gonna do a video for the members of the channel. So if you want to see it, it'll be out tomorrow. It's about the Shanahan system, and so much of it has to do with Mike McDaniel and Matt LaFleur and Bobby Slowick and all these guys that are offshoots of the Shanahan offenses that are they figured out. And you know what's funny? This is a mind-boggling stat. This is a mind-boggling stat right here. Mike McDaniel's 1-15 against over 500 teams as the coach of the Miami Dolphins. I couldn't believe it when I read it. 1-15.
You know what it is? It's yes, A, people have figured them out. Yes. But then B, the issue is also that I think he's still a student. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think he got his opportunity before he was ready. Because what happens is, I think he's learned what he learned from your coach. And that's all he really, like, that's his go-to. So now, like, he doesn't have an adjustment. He doesn't have a way to figure out how to be, but you know what I mean? So I think for them, and I'm good with it. Keep him there, man. Give him an extension. I want that man in Miami.
It's tricky too. It's tricky too. Miami fell into the trap of the 2024 NFL, where it's, if you think you have the guy, you have to extend him. And I don't think there's been any inkling with Tua being the guy, but you can kind of picture a multiverse that exists where Tua does turn. I don't think we live in that one. And so now they have to anchor themselves to Tua as well, because you think it's the same thing with the Niners and Garoppolo in 18 when he got his extension, is the Niners thought they had the guy. And if you think you have the guy, that's better than half the league at this point. So you have to, and now they're stuck. And McDaniels is probably going to be the first victim to it.
Well, no, I don't think the Dolphins are stuck. I do think Tua is a very good quarterback, and I'm not even being sarcastic here. I'm not even being funny anymore. I think Tua is a very good quarterback. I think he's deadly accurate. I think when he's healthy, The guy is insane. The issue is he doesn't stay healthy. And then also, you know, look, he doesn't like the cold. He's like me. That's how I would play in the NFL in the cold months. I'm with you out there in September and October. Once these cold months hit, man, take me out, coach, because that's what I'm gonna give you.
But it doesn't help the Dolphins either. The green just looks so bad when it's 20 degrees outside. That green is too bright for cold weather. Yeah, it's not.
Get that out of here.
Y'all hate those jerseys? What are we doing?
No, the throwbacks are fine. The throwbacks are fine.
I know the Bills fan.
No, I hate everything about the Dolphins.
I get it.
I hate the only thing about the Dolphins I don't hate is Dan Marino. That's the only thing.
What about Ace Ventura?
Well, Ace Ventura, I don't. I love him, so I don't equate him. I know the movie.
Yeah,
the Bills eliminated the Dolphins the last 2 years in Buffalo, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So in the playoffs, when they wear the ugly ass green, not the green last night, that's the green they should wear. When they wear those teals and it's negative 10 degrees in Buffalo, like they walk out, it's like that team's gonna lose. There's no way they're gonna win in that color. That's not a cold weather color.
I just think they're terrible, just in general. But real quick, can I say something about the comments?
Go for it.
Y'all got a couple comments where, like, you know, y'all got some people arguing about Kyler and the Cards, talking about how they're playing much better and not playing better. And I understand, but this is the point that I've been kind of trying to make the whole night is the fact that, like, while I understand, like, look, as a Niners fan, you guys are used to being at this point, y'all probably used to being 8-3 or whatever, you know, so I understand the frustration. But listen, the Cards are playing much better and they're 6-5. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not the team that's running away with the division. They're not the team that looks, every time you watch them every single week, you watch them every week and they look beatable. I love Kyler. I love being out here. I love, like, when I go to the games, man, it's a lot of fun. But what I'm telling you is they look beatable every single week. Yeah. So I just don't think that you guys are. So again, I know what the records say and I know how the season is going, but you're getting healthier. And this is the time of the season where, like, the winners are really, you know what I mean? Every year it comes down to this.
The only counterpoint I got with you, especially with you mentioning the Cardinals look beatable, we saw the Niners make the Cardinals look beatable. The Niners made the Cardinals look very beatable. The issue is the Niners lost that game. The Niners made the Rams look very beatable. Niners should have won that. And so that, I think I agree with every point you make because the NFC West is atrocious, but the theme, not atrocious, it's just not as good as we're used to.
Oh, it's atrocious. You can say that.
Atrocious. Okay, we'll throw atrocious out there. The theme with this season is the Niners have played in so many winnable games this season, and they've come out on the wrong side. And so I absolutely agree the Cardinals are beatable. I just need to see the Niners finish a game and make and beat them. They're beatable, but the Niners need to beat them. The Niners should easily be 8-3 right now. Yeah. And those three losses, the three you flip, are the Cardinals, the Seahawks 2 weeks ago, and the Rams in week 2. So that's my issue. I absolutely agree. This division is wide open. It's just the Niners haven't grabbed it. The Niners haven't grabbed it.
The other thing too is on the back of the Super Bowl loss, in which a lot of fans say Kyle did it again at the end, right? And they blame that, right? It's now this season, every game is like them blowing it. And it almost feels like you're waiting for them to blow it. Yeah. And I think that's why so many people are so upset right now, is that on the heels of a season where you're not going to get a better look at the Super Bowl, you're not going to have a better season in terms of injury look, you're not going to have an easier route to it. That happens again. And then you have 4 and 5 and 6 games this season of the same thing. And it just perpetuates a narrative because correct me if I'm wrong, Jay Spence, you let me know if I'm tripping. Has any other offensive coordinator taken the blame for a Super Bowl loss in the history of football when a head coach just skates by and nobody even remembers that nobody remembers that Dan Quinn was the head coach of that team. That team needed one defensive stop. They didn't get it. He's a defensive guy. But yeah, it's all Kyle Shanahan. So you got to give him that one too. So it's been perpetuated since that. And then you have the 2019 Super Bowl. And then you have this Super Bowl. And now you got this season. That's why fans are so like, this is never going to change.
And I think to add on top of that point with the Super Bowl, I think there was nobody really wanted to talk about it, and maybe Jason, if I'm wrong, please tell me. I believe there was a belief a little bit within 49ers of like, that was the perfect chance. That was the first year they stayed healthy. That was the first year they didn't have a slow start. They started 5-0. They everything went right. and then that motherfucker Patrick Mahomes exists, and that's
And then
what stops it,
and
right?
then Drake
And
Greenlaw's
so
Achilles.
I think the part of the down is even after, and this isn't even counting the offseason, right? Because Jason's going to go into everything that happened in the offseason. But I think with just that game, I think if you ask a lot of Niner fans the week after, I think a lot of them would have said that might have been the shot. That might have been and I think it's just kind of snowballed. And then we get to the offseason stuff of Ayuk's holdout and Williams holdout and then Pearsall's off the field stuff and just everything since Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles has been downhill for the 49ers, and it just feels like this, if there's a year, because like 2020, it really felt like Super Bowl hangover, nothing going right. This more so kind of feels a little bit of maybe this is what the future is. I don't necessarily believe I subscribe to that thought, but I think there's a case to be made of like, maybe this is just, maybe last year was it.
Right. One more thing, and this is what's funny. Spence, do you remember the last time the 49ers played the Bills?
No, refresh me.
It was the first time you and I ever did a show, and it was right before Andrew and I started this podcast in 2020. And the San Francisco 49ers were kicked out of Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, and they played in Arizona against the Buffalo Bills.
I do remember that game.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Famed tight end Jordan Reed, Nick Mullins started. This was the beginning of Brandon Ayuk's time, but that was right off of the 2019 season. And what he means by 2020 vibes is this: all the injuries. It's not a hangover. It just felt like they were mentally exhausted. Things happened, fine. But yeah, that was the first time that you and I, and look, Sarah nailed it. That was the first time you and I ever jumped on a show together and we talked about it. And me foolishly, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Nick Mullins and these guys are going to find a way. And Josh Allen's just throwing seed after seed over guys' heads, man, in Arizona, because we got kicked out. We got evicted from our own stadium and playing football during that wild 2020 COVID year.
That was a wild year.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk was really good, but Josh Allen was just better. I just wanted to like kind of reminisce on that. And then at 2020, that was the year that it just kind of felt like, okay, you got to chalk this one up to all injuries. And I don't blame 49ers fans for feeling like this was on the way, almost kind of similar to that, because the signs were kind of there. Like when you have the Christian McCaffrey injury and you hear it's Achilles, you're like, oh shit, here we go, 2020 hangover. Yeah. And it kind of feels a little bit like that. Now Bosa's hurt. Now Williams is hurt. Greenlaw's still not back. Like it feels that way. And we kind of have feared this. And then it's just funny that the parallels between that season and this season, and that was the last time we actually played you guys.
Right. Well, earlier when I know I forget who it was, but somebody laughed at me earlier when I said y'all getting healthier. Like he's like healthier, and then you go down a list of who's out. But to me, like getting somebody back like Christian McCaffrey is a big deal. So to me, like that, you're getting healthier when you get somebody back like that. But I don't know. I just look at you guys and I look at the entire team, top to bottom, and I think you're one of the best Ram franchise in the league. I think that over the last several years, I think that you got, I just think a lot more of your team than right now than you do. And I just want to make a quick point, because Jason was just talking about, Kyle Shanahan and like his shortcomings. And he was talking about how like sometimes the fan base talks about like the Atlanta thing and then even all the way here. Listen, Kyle Shanahan is 44 years old, right? Andy Reid was 65 when he won his first Super Bowl. That guy's been coaching for more than 25 years. So I just need people to, and I know that's not the right comparison, and that's probably
I got to go through 20 more years of it.
No, but it's literally the comparison. That's the way that everyone's looking at this, but I feel 49er fans feel like Kyle's going to get it done somewhere else. Yeah. Like almost like we're the Eagles.
That's the problem. That's the problem. What happens is a lot of times when teams get spoiled or fan bases get spoiled with winning, we only view, a lot of us only view success as Super Bowl wins. That's how we view success. However, being the division winner for 5 years in a row is absolutely successul. Making the playoffs every year is absolutely successful. Having the top ranked offenses or the number one ranked running team defense or whatever, like winning certain things and having accolades is something. Having somebody that's MVP or all pro on your team, you got multiple all pro players. You got a guy that's on your offensive line that's probably been an all pro his entire career. Yeah, that's winning. Yeah. So from one perspective, because I want people to understand this. Again, I'm a Bills fan, so I just want to give you guys some perspective for a minute. You guys have lost heartbreakers. You guys have had a lot of moments where you've had long seasons and you've had hope and you've gotten to the big game, or you've gotten right before the big game and you've lost and you've been heartbroken. We've had 17 years without even seeing the playoffs. We've had 17 years of Ryan Fitzpatrick, EJ Manuel. I can go through a bunch of other guys that probably don't matter, but shout out to my guy, Tyrod Taylor. He got us to the playoffs for the first time. That's my guy.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, we went through no playoffs. We went through like literally not winning. And so like what I'm saying is like we're spoiled to the point where it's like you got a down year, so you'd be like, you know what, I'm sick of Kyle Shanahan. Needs to get he's 44 years old. He's already been to more Super Bowl. He's kind of like, you know, like of the coaching world. I look at him like LeBron, man. Like a lot of people want to look at him, you know, and already compare him to Jordan. They already want to put him in the conversations with the Bill Belichick's, and they want to put him there with the Andy Reid's. They want to put him there with the guys that's won multiple Super Bowls. Guess what? He hasn't won yet. So until LeBron got that chip, the comparisons were there. They're still there, but you get what I'm saying. The comparisons. As a coach, I'm telling you, this guy is elite. Y'all get rid of him. I'm going to do my damnedest. I'm going to get back on social. I'm going to have the biggest campaign to get rid of Sean McDermott. I'm going to bring Kyle Shanahan to Buffalo personally. If I have to empty out my savings to get a personal jet to bring this guy there to do it, I'm going to get it done. I'm getting
shot. We taking
Sean,
a shot? I thought that's yeah. I knew that. All right, go ahead, Andrew. You got it.
I got Agua. No, but we've talked about like how many teams would line up for Kyle Shanahan and it would be a lot. But I had a spooky thought. I was hanging out with our guy Brett earlier today, and the spooky thought I had the last and there might be one in between that I don't.
I need a little on this. I was getting busy.
You're good, Andrew.
The thought I had, and I can't remember of anybody, but if Kyle Shanahan gets fired, let's just hypothetically. The reason Kyle Shanahan would get fired is because he couldn't get over the hump. The last coach I can think of who got fired because they couldn't get over the hump was Marty Schottenheimer with the Chargers. When he went 14-2, they got rid of him because they couldn't win in the playoffs or whatever. The Chargers are having their first relevant season since firing Marty Schottenheimer 20 years later. And so, like, I'm not saying that's going to happen to the 49ers, but, like, moving on from Shanahan just because he cannot get over the hump doesn't mean the next guy is just automatically going to step in and get over the hump themselves. So that's my issues. Everybody's talking about, well, if the Niners fire Shanahan, so many teams are going to hire him. The name I mentioned, the only and just to give you an idea of how far-fetched I think the idea of firing Kyle Shanahan is the only name I would be comfortable. I think I would be comfortable with replacing Kyle Shanahan is Mike Tomlin. And there is a 0% chance the Steelers move on from him. And the reason I use that logic is people complain about Shanahan underachieving with talented teams. Well, Tomlin overachieves with less talented teams all the time. So a guy like him coming to San Francisco, I don't think that's realistic. But that's the frame of mind.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the only reason why I'm cutting you off here on your show is because you're gonna go so far, I'm gonna forget my point. Listen, if I love him. And as a black dude, I always try to hype up black men, and I always try to do. So I mean, like that's the. But if he was in any other city, he would be fired.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
Would be gone.
Absolutely.
So I understand. I understand the point that a lot of people try to make about they overachieve and they do this. He won a Super Bowl like forever ago.
Yeah,
he's been living off of that since, and because they don't fire coaches and they allow coaches to retire, that's the only reason. I love that guy, but he would be fired in any other city. Any other city.
Yes, but that's my point. Is I'm just saying that's the only name I would feel semi comfortable with that feels like it would be within a realm of, because like people mentioned Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson doesn't go to Chicago, I'd be shocked, right? Like I just
he has to,
and just but
I'm being honest when I ask that question. Why would you?
What? Well, all right,
go to Chicago. Well, Caleb Williams exists. That's the only reason I would say that's the reason to go right now. But yeah, why would you?
But Chicago has done the dumbest thing that they can with 3 quarterbacks. And regardless of what you think about them, handing over a rookie quarterback to a defensive coach is by far the dumbest thing that I probably have ever seen. And they continue to do it over and over. Yeah. They did it with Mitch. They did it with Fields. Now they're doing it with Caleb. And now they're wondering why their formula is not working. And if I'm Ben Johnson, I take a long look around after I see what the draft order is going to be, right? Las Vegas has a really good chance right now to get there and get the first pick as well too. You know, the New York Giants have a really good shot at that as well. You know, Carolina, they've got an interesting thing to do. I sit there and I look around and I say, what's the best program? Where are they going to get a chance? And where can I get my hands on a rookie quarterback and fix it? I understand why you wouldn't want to go to Chicago because it's so dysfunctional. I mean, they still, for God's sake, still don't have a 4,000-yard passer in the history of their franchise, which almost feels like that's fake, but it's real. But I feel what he's saying.
And then the other issue I have with the Ben Johnson idea too is, what is replacing a smart offensive-minded offensive coordinator with no head coaching experience with a smart-minded offensive coordinator with no head coach? Like that's a parallel, in theory, parallel move, right? Like I gotta come on, man. I gotta come on, man, on that. What's this come on? I want to hear this come on, man.
No, because I think you're minimizing who these guys are.
Oh, that's absolutely, that's fair.
You know what I mean? And
fair.
I just think because both of now, first of all, obviously, I
am stripping that argument down to the basics. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, well, I'm just saying because I've been giving flowers to your coach all night, but then Ben Johnson, I think like what we're seeing in Detroit, man, it's like that. So it's like I like these guys are like, again, there's not many people that I would love to replace at this point. I had to shut up about Sean McDermott. I wanted him gone after the playoff loss to the Chiefs. Like, I wanted him gone. And my whole angle on my podcast was, listen, sometimes you get a guy that comes in and he's a great architect of a team. He can build the bones of a roster like Mark Jackson. Sometimes you need a Steve Kerr to come in and take that team to the next level and win the chip.
Respectfully.
I'm a Warriors fan, so.
Respectfully. So, I mean, some people might not agree with that. Some people say, well, you ain't got to do much with Steph and
Or
Clay.
what is it? What's the meme? With all due respect.
With all due respect.
Don't disrespect. You can't disrespect the butterfly, but brave about the caterpillar.
What is it? With all due respect, I'd knock her out the park.
I knocked that out. Oh my God, yes. I knocked that out of the park.
I knocked that out of the park with all due respect. And it's funny because, like, out of context, it definitely sounds...
But it was about softball.
Yeah. It was about softball.
But man, out of context,
I just love that if you want to make that kind of point, you just got to post Mark Jackson's face, like, over,
right. You ain't got to say nothing else, like, respectfully.
All right. Well, I got one more question about the Bills. Bring it back to Buffalo. I mentioned I'm a Florida State fan. The Niners got the wrong Florida wide receiver, in my opinion. I didn't want Ricky Pearsall. I wanted Keon Coleman. It felt like Keon Coleman had a little bit of an adjustment period at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Felt like he kind of picked up throughout. He's been a little hurt. I mainly just want to hear what is Jay Spence's prediction on just Keon Coleman and where he grows in the NFL, because I was big on him. I know the combine didn't really help him, but again, I'm biased with Florida State. I was big at him in Florida State. I was big on him, and I think the Bills probably the perfect place for him to go with a really good quarterback already and a need for receiver. Where do you think Keon Coleman's career go based off of his very short Bills career?
Oh, I think Keon evolves into a star. I don't think he's a star yet. I think his personality, first of all, is big time. Like once you put him in front of a camera, he's big time. So he has that. But then what's happening is if you watch week 1 to now, I know he's been injured a couple weeks, but if you watch week 1 until he got injured, he's starting to figure out how he needs to play the game on this level. So in college, he had moments where he jumped, and he's still out jumping people here, but like he's learning his spots and he's learning how Josh needs him to react to things in order to be successful. And then once you saw that happen, then you saw 3 games of like 6 catches, 8 catches, 5 catches. So like you're seeing this guy like really figure out where he needs to be in order to be successful and effective. And I think what's going to end up happening is, now after a full season of play in the NFL, it's the same thing. The Buffalo Bills draft guys who are very raw, but they have like elite traits. Josh Allen, when he came into the league, was not. Everybody was like, Josh Allen's going to be a failure. That guy is not accurate. That guy is this. He's not that. He's not this. He's not that. He had elite traits. Tremaine Edmonds, I know he's with the Bears now, but Tremaine Edmonds, he was a guy that had these elite physical traits, but not quite put it together as a, Trey White. Like the guys they drafted had like a certain thing. Need to make the playoffs. Cool.
Start Keanu Cooper. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Perfect.
For sure, start cool. But the Bills draft these guys where like they have these traits to develop them. And I think that what's going to happen in Buffalo with is going to be what happened with Josh. It's going to be what happened with Matt Milano. You know, it's when they develop these guys who have the right personalities and the right fit for Buffalo and the work ethic. He's going to take this summer off and he's going to be like, oh, okay, now I see where I need to be. I need to get better at those things. So now he's going to spend a summer doing the stuff that he succeeded in. And next year, you're going to see this guy come out and he's going to finally, he's going to be healthy. He's going to have that 1,000-yard season as a second-year player.
Love that. I was a big Keon Coleman guy. I wanted the Niners to take Braden Fisk. I wanted them to trade up for Verse, and just all of them are fucking cooking in the league.
Yeah, great job, Rams. Getting Verse and Fisk. Awesome. It's not like we needed you to not be better. Jesus Christ! And remember, the knock on Fisk was his knees and all that stuff. It doesn't look like it's bothering him at all.
If only the Niners could use an interior defensive lineman right now. They don't need one of those right now, do they?
Well,
anyways,
what makes me mad is an interior defensive lineman with health issues. Now all of a sudden you want to balk on something like that? You literally have been taking
I know, right?
The entire time. Javon Kinlaw's knees were arthritic, and you were like, yeah.
I don't mean to ask this question, but where the hell is Drake Jackson? What happened to him?
Out for the year. Whatever.
That's just anyways. Beyond the point. We don't need to. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Drake Jackson?
Oh, Carmen Sandiego's a deep cut for the older heads.
Yeah, it's a great cut. But hey, underdog picks. Jason Aponte. This is usually the portion of the podcast where Jason Aponte looks at Brock Purdy's rushing yards and tells you higher or lower. I don't know if Brock Purdy rushing yards are there right now because he's questionable. But they are. So let's get Jason Aponte's underdog card, and then Jay Spence, we're gonna get some predictions in for Sunday night.
Yeah, and Spence, if you got underdog in your spot or whatever, 2 or whatever, I don't know if you use it in Arizona or whatever, you can look them up and you want to give us some picks.
I'm gonna look them up. Send me a referral. I'll let you know.
Promo code Aponte.
I got you, gang. Yeah, so promo code Aponte, double your first deposit up to $1,000. They have pick'ems, drafts, everything, higher, lower. And they also give you a free square every week. So it'll essentially be something like Josh Allen half a throwing yard,
or Aaron Rodgers half a throwing yard, and then he tears his Achilles 3 plays into the season, and you lose that bet.
Could you imagine losing that one?
Oh, that's it. It was the free pick last year for week 1. It was Aaron Rodgers over under half a yard. It's a free pick. Right. Everybody took the over, and boy, oh boy, it did not hit. Anyway, Jason, what we got?
So I got 5 for you. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I understand that the weather is going to be whatever, but I think at this point, without the Amador Lenore, with the way that Renardo Green was kind of getting picked on in this last game, Charvarius Ward's back, but they do pepper this ball around to Khalil Shakir. Cooper's going to be fine. Dawson Knox is somebody who I expect to give the 49ers fits if Devondre Campbell has to cover him. So I've got Josh Allen over 1.5 passing yards. George Kittle, I'm going to take the higher over 45.5 receiving yards. I don't feel good about it because of Matt Milano being back, but the way that he's been playing this season, he's been the best 49ers offensive player, and he continues to make plays whenever it is that they need him, and he's putting together his finest season as a 49er, even the year that he had all those yards and broke the receiving yards record. Brock Purdy over 19.5 rushing yards over. I mean, they're gonna be all over him. He's gonna have to make plays with his legs. He's gonna have to get out there. I could see 4 or 5 runs of 5-6 yards at a time. He's almost doing it every single week. It feels like the single biggest lock almost every time. Fred Warner over 4.5 solo tackles in this game. I think the Bills, in this game, obviously they're going to throw the football, but James Cook is going to be involved. Ray Davis is somebody that you can't sleep on. They are still going to get him involved. They're still going to run the football. I think Fred is going to have to be able to move around even on that fractured ankle. And I've got James Cook, man, over 16.5 receiving yards. I feel like that's very low. I think, with the way that, again, Josh Allen's playing free. He's playing loose. He doesn't have to force the ball to anybody. He can actually, do whatever that is that he needs. Devondre Campbell's had a tough time covering every running back, every single tight end out there. I expect the Buffalo Bills to know that going into this game and target him. So that's why I've got Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and I've got James Cook over 16.5 receiving yards. Again, promo code Aponte, double your first deposit up to $1,000, and take your free square and go for the rest of the week. But yeah, I feel good about these picks.
I'm gonna challenge you, bro. I feel like everything you picked is money except the Josh Allen 1.5
over 1.5,
like passing touchdowns. And the reason
you think he's gonna run one in?
I think he'll run one in, and I think this is going to be a Ray Davis moment. I think you're going to see a big Ray Davis game. He's the type of running back the weather that Buffalo's getting tonight, tomorrow, and early Sunday. Ray Davis is going to be more of the back instead of Cook. Cook dances, he cuts a lot. This is going to be one of those games where you want a running back that's going to hit whatever hole. Our offensive line has been gifting running backs like a yard and a half, like 2 yards almost every play, man. It's been incredible to watch. They're doing a great job. This is going to be a Ray Davis game, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be a Josh Allen rushing game.
Do you guys up there make the same jokes that like we do around like on NFL Twitter about like the fact that Ray Davis is like 32 and like he just came out like this year or whatever?
No.
Like,
He's like
25, 26 years
Buffalo,
old.
They just love him. Like, it's like, okay, he's on our team. We love it. So
we know he's good. It's just that when he came out like being 25, 26.
No. Like Bills fans, we're intense in love. Like we love the practice squad guys. Like, so.
He's 24. My bad. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry.
No, but it's cool. See.
No. Look, she cooked my ass. I'm just saying, like, it's just the joke of like.
I mean, like the joke is like obviously he's old as a rookie, so like that's the joke. But she's like, no, he's 24. That's how Bills fans are. So that's what I'm saying. Like in Buffalo, I ain't even heard the joke. It's been more so like, yo, I love the way this kid runs. This kid is awesome. This kid. So yeah.
So no, it's just funny because like when guys come out there like 20, 21, 22, whatever, it's just like to see a guy like 24, like that's the joke. He's 25. Okay, yeah. So, but he just had a birthday, so that doesn't count. But it's like Stenson Bennett, right? Like we all make the same joke. Like Stenson Bennett's like a super senior. He's like 37. Like, like everybody gets an experienced backup when Stenson Bennett joins the
pretty
league
sure
because
pretty sure Brandon Whedon entered the league at 48.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that's what I meant by the joke. But thank you, Sarah, for
but I get it. Again, that's what I'm saying. I get it. Yeah. Bills fans are like, nah. Don't talk about ours. Like that's how it is.
We're not making no jokes about him. I got. Look,
but even that joke.
I got a personal gripe with you because we're in the same dynasty league. Yes, yeah, you. We're in the same dynasty league, and who's in first place in that dynasty league?
What up?
Yeah, and I got Ray Davis on my team, and it's crazy because that 1 week, because I have Cook, so that 1 week when he was out, I plugged him right in against the Jets, and he went crazy, man.
Went crazy,
yeah. I got a personal gripe with you because I usually run that league, and right now you are all right. You're in second. You're 9-3.
Oh, I thought I'm 8-1.
No, I'm 8-4, and Steph Sanchez, the GOAT, Nick Bosa, is 10-2. So it's like us three, like we're all like fighting right now.
And what's crazy is when I joined that league, I took over a team that wasn't too hot.
You certainly revamped that team very very I was
the Jim Harbaugh of that team.
I did it. It wasn't too hot. I gave up some draft picks, made some moves, really aggressive. But I'm just saying, I'm top 3 in the league right now. Y'all, you know what I mean? I'm just doing.
Is that the Scott Fishbowl?
No. We have a 49ers Twitter dynasty league, and after the first year, someone dropped out, and I asked Spence to join, and he joined, and he literally like pushed that team. Like he was good in the draft, but he was good with like sending draft picks off, and now look at him. I think you beat me this year, and it's just,
I did.
I'm not used to it because it's a super flex league in which someone gifted me Lamar Jackson because they believed in Trey Lance so badly. Like the guy was like, I'll give you Lamar Jackson. Here's Trey, give me Trey Lance. And I couldn't even smash except as fast as I could or whatever. And yet somehow I'm still in third.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'm mad at you in that league because I offered you 3 first-round draft picks for Josh Allen.
Nope,
you did not
get happen. He's a cornerstone player on my team.
I know. I'm just saying, like when I got in the league, I'm like, dude, whatever you need, I'm gonna give it up.
My thing is this, and this is my philosophy on certain draft, and this is like for the league itself, like the NFL. What do I know? I know Josh Allen's my guy. Yep. What maybe those 3 picks can be? No, thank you. I know exactly what I got. That's the only reason I said no.
But it could be 3 Josh Allens.
But the likelihood of that, like how many Josh Allens?
Trey Lances.
It could be a new car.
And that's why you see how aggressive I was giving the picks away. Because to me, it's like, no, if I got a guy I know is the guy, give me the guy. Go ahead, take the pick. You're gonna be mad later. I got the guy.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with in a super flex league. I'm fine starting Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson every single week. I have I'm fine.
That's like big money.
It's almost like real teams should use that logic more often. These draft picks could be good, but I'd rather just have the guy I know. It's almost like teams should do that. It's almost like the Rams won a Super Bowl off that logic or something.
And so you know what? I got blasted for that take last year. I think it was like in the middle of the season last year when Tennessee was talking about moving on from Derrick Henry because his contract was coming to an end, and they were talking about like I think they wanted like a 4th or a 3rd round draft pick for him or something like that. And the Bills were rumored to be in conversation to get him. And then people made this big deal. Like, we got James Cook. You don't give up a 4th or a 3rd round draft pick for Derrick Henry. Man, fuck that 3rd round draft pick. You see what that dude doing this year?
No, and the Dallas Cowboys said, we need a running back, but we're good on you, Derrick Henry.
Good on you, Derrick Henry. Do you see what he's doing?
When Lamar was an RFA.
Hey, yo, you put that guy in the backfield with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You see the way Josh runs?
Yeah.
People don't want to tackle Josh. You put a running back like Derrick Henry in the backfield with Josh Allen, man, I'm dog.
Andrew, right? Remember
a third round pick would have been too much, though. Totally.
Remember when the Ravens were like, we'll take 2 first-round picks and you got to sign Lamar Jackson, and everybody was like, I don't want to do that.
That's the point I was gonna bring up. Like, yeah, Lamar Jackson could have been had for a new contract and 2 first-round picks, and the Falcons decided Desmond Ritter, we got him. We're good. We're good on that one. So yeah, just all bad.
Two first round picks and a contract for Lamar Jackson's too much, man.
I'm with Terradome.
Yeah, dude. F them picks. So yeah. But the thing is, the shitty thing is Niner fans don't even want to say that because they're like, you can't trade the 3rd and 4th round picks. That's where the Niners get all the good play. And it's like, just trade the picks, man. Just trade the picks.
Dude, and it's just so many teams. All right, so like everybody has a tough time. Like the biggest thing that's beating people's asses is ranking quarterbacks. But the way that you rank them is not 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's tiers. So do the tiers, right? Yep. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, tier break. Burrow, all the rest of these guys, tier break. Like you have to like look at it like that. If you have a chance to get one of those ones, and then you want to sell me on, well, he doesn't perform in the playoffs, or you got to transform your defensive coordinator sit up at night worried about playing Lamar Jackson, and you didn't want it. Like, you just were like, you know what? I can't, man. I don't want to.
There's still, and when I say this, I don't mean us when I say media.
Yeah.
There's still a big campaign to try and act like he's not a good quarterback.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy has 2 MVPs. The guy is
he's going to win 3rd.
Like, but there's still such a huge campaign out there within a certain.
Hold on, yo, you know Jared Bailey, our buddy, a good friend of the show. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. So
I love him, by the way.
No, when we went to the combine, dude. When we went to the combine, it was nonstop jokes of just like, oh, you want Lamar Jackson to win from the pocket? You want, like,
oh, he was that guy.
Yeah, I was like, what do you? Like,
Jason just said something without saying something, and everybody knew it.
But everybody knows, and we all just sat there the entire weekend. We were just like, so Lamar needs to win from the pocket, right? Like, I was like, what do you do? Like, try, like, it's obviously a joke because that's not Jared or whatever. But it's funny because So what's funny is Jared is so pro Josh Allen for being a Steelers guy. Like, he literally, like, I love Josh, and he literally looks for almost any moment when Lamar has that game against the Chargers, and I watched that film, dude, and that touchdown he threw to Rashad Bateman to the corner pylon. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it doesn't even make sense, like, how the throw gets there. But like, anytime he has a bad thing, Jared's just gonna be like, "There it is!" Like, what? Like, no.
Here's the thing.
You gotta be watching a lot to be like, "There's the bad thing Lamar Jackson did." Like, the thing, it's a lot of watching to do that.
But even with that, let's just say there's enough bad stuff. There isn't, but let's just say there's enough bad stuff with Lamar. You got to be able to be honest too. Like, we all have bad takes.
Yes.
Of course.
So for years, dog. For years, I clowned Baker. Now, I think I was right to clown Baker. I think I was right to clown him in Cleveland. I think in Cleveland, I think he was talking like he was Tom Brady when he didn't win a damn thing. That's how I felt. You know, he goes to Carolina, same thing. Like, y'all bums, you're going to be a bum because you is a bum. That's how I saw it. Okay, with the Rams, I see you getting a little jiggy. All right. Okay, now with Tampa, he's completely changed my opinion on him.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest as somebody in journalism, and I have to say, look, I had this opinion. I came out and I said Baker's a bum.
Yeah.
I said Baker talks the talk, but he can't back it up. Guess what? Baker's backing it up. And I have to be just as loud in being honest about him backing it up as I was in saying he's a bum. So when guys like Lamar prove you wrong year after year after year after year, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it
go. And me, I went to the first training camp with Brock Purdy. And it was during the season. It was during the season with Trey Lance, and Jimmy Garoppolo was running sprints behind them. Brock Purdy looked awful. Brock Purdy never got right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Andrew, we both went. Brock Purdy barely got any snaps. And I literally said, yo, this guy's just gonna make the practice squad. Who cares? Like, why are y'all caping for this? It's gotta be. And now look, and now I have to be able to say, honestly, I got it wrong. I need to be able to chalk up like what it is that I was looking at. And that's it. But I wasn't like purposely going crazy on him. It's just he never really got reps. And what would happen is when he would get reps behind Nate Sudfeld, by the way, it would literally be Trey Lance, Nate Sudfeld, and then Brock Purdy, and it would be one or two. We would start like going through our notes and going back to like what we were looking at, and it just he didn't do anything in those training camp practices to show you anything. He popped out in the preseason. So like I pushed back on the narrative that Brock Purdy was out there killing it during that training camp, because that's absolutely not true, because he didn't even get reps. But when you start to see it change, all you have to do is just say, I was wrong. And that's how you shun all of the negativity with it, because you've been able to be humble and be like, yo, I got it wrong. But also at the same time, bro, when I get this shit right, I'm gonna laugh this shit up. Like I'm laughing it up. Like yeah. When I'm right, like, you know? Yeah. When I get this shit right, I'm finding my tweets from 3 years ago. Like, yeah, I got you or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that or whatever. This has been a really fun episode. We need to have
it's not often
people on.
It's not often we near an hour and a half. Usually we're about 45. So just you're invited anytime. We'll talk ball whenever.
Anytime, man.
We'll talk ball. Let's do it.
No, when we play you in New Orleans, and we get to watch Kendrick Lamar call Drake a PDF file.
That's wild. It's wild that that's happening on the Super Bowl stage. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
Look, Kendrick put out an album, and he said, I've got so many bangers. I'm not even putting Not Like Us on this or whatever. I gave you like a small EP for.
He gave us the snippet of the song in Not Like Us before he put Not Like Us on the album.
Andrew woke up looking for the broccoli. Like that's how Andrew woke up. Like literally, like off the.
That dude. What's going on? I know y'all just talked about getting out of here, but y'all hear about Drake with this lawsuit?
So all right, so we can do this, and then we'll do predictions, and then we'll do predictions.
My bad. Okay. I know.
No.
It's football. It's football related. We're talking about the halftime Super Bowl performance.
Right?
Here.
No. And look, Streets is cooked, and here's why. Should Biggie has sued Tupac and said, did you have sex with my wife? You can't do that. I didn't say. You didn't say. Okay. Should Nas have sued Jay-Z when he said that he left condoms on his baby seat? This is rap. None of that stuff has to actually be true for it to. If it sounds good, Drake could have done what he should have done, and this is it. Go away, be quiet, take your loss, come back, give us music. And no one cares. Listen, hip hop, unfortunately, and I'm gonna get on a tangent because you know how this shit goes, Spence. Because we've been in the same room talking about hip hop.
Yeah, Vegas.
Yep. So
Vegas.
Hip hop has a short memory with many things, including people being just terrible, awful people, like the worst people in the world. But when you give us bangers, we're good. Kodak Black was convicted of doing something terrible to a woman. But you get a bunch of records and no one cares about that. You have a chance to just go away, come back, give us music again, and no one will remember. But yet you want to keep dragging this L out farther than it needs to happen and stack these L's. It is almost like he listened to Euphoria and said, I'm going to do every single thing that Kendrick Lamar said I was going to do. The superstar is spiraling. I could even see it in your, like, he's telling you all of these things, and you didn't just say, I'm not going to do any of that. You said, I'm going to do every single thing. I don't understand the game anymore. No. And I hate to be that guy. we've been through battles where Jay-Z said that he has sex with Nas's baby mama and left a condom on her baby seat, and you don't run and sue. What part of the game is that, man? What part of the game is that? Yeah, Hov's the GOAT. Yeah. Also, by the way, let's
let's be clear.
Throw the rock up. Hov's the GOAT. Yeah. And Jay-Z lost a battle. And what did Jay-Z do? He won the war.
Let's relax.
He didn't lose the battle?
No, let's relax. Let's relax. Are you kidding me?
Wait.
That's not weird. No, we can do this on the phone. No,
yeah. Call me after this.
We gonna go 4 hours.
Call me after this. Yeah, I got way more liquor. We can do this. Call me after this. Yeah,
I'm just gonna be sitting here like, yeah, guys, I agree. Yeah, that I agree with that point.
But no,
you made
on this Drake thing, like I got to take, and I actually haven't been in the forum yet to kind of talk about it. But I do want to say, like, I think the AAU basketball has ruined hip hop, and I know that, like, how the hell did you get there?
I like this already. I like it.
But I feel like, there's always been a correlation. There's always been rappers who end up hooping, or guys who hoop that don't make it end up rappers, or drug. Like, it's always the correlation. Like, guys that hoop end up selling drugs or like whatever, right? I think the culture of what AAU has been, where now, same thing with the NBA. You can equate it, where now guys are friends, and it's like, yeah, the game is somewhat fun, but they're not like, they don't hate each other the way the Pistons and the Bulls used to hate each other. So now with hip hop, I think this whole thing about the big three and this whole thing about how they came in as the big three in that class, I think Drake really thought everybody was friends and they wanted to be buddies. And J. Cole is like, I don't want to get, and it hurts me.
I know. That's what I was going to ask you. I know you're a Cole guy. That's why I want to ask you.
Dog, it hurt my soul.
I'll give Cole. I will give Cole.
He got out at the right time.
No, he knew what was about to happen. He knew what was about to happen, and he got out of it.
Because could you imagine if Hov dropped out with Nas?
No,
like, that's how I'm looking at this. From
he had to apologize when his mom called him, though.
But when moms get involved, okay, look, my mom said,
my mom called and said, I can't be acting like that. Yeah.
That's your mom going to your friend's house with you. My mom said I gotta come say sorry. That's that. You know what I mean? You gonna respect moms. But what Cole did, this is the AAU culture I'm talking about. We're friends. And he got up there and said, yo, I think Kendrick is great too. Don't y'all think he great? So I don't wanna, this ain't what?
Hip hop's
and now Drake, you see this thing now where it's like you could tell his feelings is hurt, man. Like,
yeah.
And so now he's doing this stuff, and it's like I just hate this whole friendly buddy. I miss Cruz. Like I miss Rough Riders. I miss Bad. Like I miss it.
Yo, Beanie jumped in. Beanie jumped in just off the strength. Like, it didn't even have to matter. I don't got a problem with Nas. I'm sorry, Andrew.
I was very curious where you're going with the AAU take, but ending up on there's not enough hate and things anymore. I like it. Like yeah, I like that. I love that a lot, because that's. I think that's the J. Cole issue, though. Is I think you're right. J. Cole thought it would be fun, and I think somebody told him, like, Kendrick doesn't like Drake. This isn't going to be good for you. If this is, and he did get it. I think it's really bad to drop because he dropped the diss album. It wasn't just a track, correct? And then
it was like two or three shots, like
2 or 3, and then he pulled it. Yeah. I don't think there's a more iconic 3-word tweet than you can throw out anymore than Kendrick just dropped now, though. Because
dude, the 5 tweet sequence of just Kendrick dropping this record, Super Bowl, this record, album.
Insane.
Back in the day, my guys used to go in the booth. Today, rappers go to memes. And that is where we're losing recipes.
We're losing the recipes.
No, but that's what we different. Like, because even like, my group chat, one of my guys, Daryl, he's like on the side of like, he respects what J. Cole did, and he respects because he's like, he don't want bad energy, and I'm like, look, just because we in our 50s and 40s now don't mean that these rappers need to, like, this is still rap. Like, it's rap, and to me that's what I'm saying. Like, in the NBA. Back in the day, Jordan used to hate them Pistons.
And when he saw Barkley, even though they were boys, he would just be like, yo, get out of here. Like, go away.
he would do
and now you
everything
got
in his power to.
Draymond tweeting support LeBron all the
Yo,
time, right? Like
he basically he be over there like straight up. I don't even want to say he be doing things to LeBron.
Yes,
that his
yes,
wife
yes,
should be
yes,
doing.
yes.
Dog.
Yes,
So look,
yes.
real quick, and I know this has nothing to do with it, but just like to your Jordan point, so Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown have this little like rivalry going on right now because they're on the Wizards. And Gilbert Arenas told the story about Michael Jordan being at the same bar with both of them, and he's the one who drafted Kwame Brown. And he said that Kwame Brown was freezing up by seeing Michael Jordan. And he said he ordered 5 shots, and he's like, and he said Jordan's like, hey ho. What's up, ho? And Kwame Brown's taking 5 shots in a row. And he goes, oh, you're trying to get some courage, huh? Think about Michael Jordan saying that to the guy that he drafted number 1. Imagine the guy that he's actually going against. And he owned the Wizards at the time. Mm-hmm. It's just a different mindset, complete different mindset.
Yeah. No, for sure. But that's what I'm saying. It's so different in NBA. Again, I think AAU has bled into the same thing with the NFL. I think AAU has bled into all of these cultures. You still got some teams that have that hatred. Like for the Bills and the Jets, they hate each other. So like I see that. I see the hatred. I think I see it with y'all in the Cowboys, even though y'all not in the same.
That's our little bros.
Well, maybe not you.
They hate us,
but I mean, I know they little bros to y'all. But the way I see it, y'all really be aggressive.
No. Well, I think everybody in the NFL hates the Cowboys, but with us, it's deep rooted. It's deep rooted in the '90s, and now we're the bullies to them. Like we're just like shut up, like and we can just like act up with them. It's similar to. And again, this is why I'm akin to the fact that right now there's not a rivalry because you got to win a game. It's akin to the time. It's akin to the time when the Seattle Seahawks dogged us, and they kept on dogging us. And Richard Sherman was talking crazy, and we just were like, "Shut up, man! Don't do that." That's kind of what we're doing to them right now. So we at least got it against them.
No. I get that.
I don't know how to segue from Kendrick Drake.
We got to do predictions.
But
hey, back to the game.
Jay Spence. What's the final score on Sunday? Who's winning? Niners, Bills. Who's winning?
I got the Bills winning this one. I got to go 31-17.
Okay. I like that. We have a bit here on the Sprint Right Option podcast. The way we like to say it is we are 5-6 in picking the 49ers this season. So I don't think it should be a surprise. My final score should tell you how I feel about this game, but 49ers 21, Bills 20 in a very close game because I am 5-6 in picking the 49ers on this podcast this season. I'm sticking with it, even though I do not believe it. Niners 21, Bills 20.
I've got the Bills winning this one.
Jason, we got to do the
I'm sorry. I can't. Bills 28-14. I just think the 49ers again. Yeah. Look, man, when you look how banged up we are and everything, they're healthy. They're at home. The weather's in their favor. I think that even if a full strength team out there, I think when we looked at this game pre-schedule release or when it came out, and we just looked at it, we said that might be a loss. I don't see how you can just change your mind off of that now, especially with who's not going to be playing. So I got to keep it a buck with myself. I think I knew for a fact that the Packers were going to beat us as well, too. Yes. I think that was before we found out all that. I got to stick with that. I understand sticking with the bit. I can't.
If we're going to call this a Niners, if we're going to call this a Niners Nation, if we're calling this a NinersNation.com pick, or we're actually doing the pick.
Yeah.
27-13 Bills. That'll be my pick.
And the other thing is this, okay? And if you want some hope, it's this. If the 49ers find a way to win this game on Sunday, then I will fucking get on this podcast and declare we're fucking back and nobody's getting in our way. That's it. Like nothing's stopping us. And I think that's just based on the insurmountable odds of just the good team that they are. And me respecting the Bills and just understanding that they're so good that it almost seems impossible the 49ers can get this one done on Sunday. Although Jay Spence is going to give us like, hey, I'm scared, I'm nervous, ever humble. I always like that.
I'm not even going to say I'm scared because the thing is I'm confident this time around because I think Josh isn't doing too much. And I think in moments like this, they might ask him to do a little bit more. And it might be one of those games where it's going to be fun. It's going to be like one of the games that's going to go on the Josh Allen doc, like it's a snow game in Buffalo. It's the 49ers. Like in my mind, like that's how I'm seeing this game. But what I'm saying is, yes, what I said at the beginning of the show is that our weakness is the run game. I know CMC don't look like CMC yet. It's coming though. It's one of the games this year. you're gonna be like, you know what? I was tripping. Even if the season's over, he gonna come out and do something, and you're gonna be like, you know what? I was tripping. We here next year. He back. And what I'm saying is it could be this game and it's not over. So if it's this game, and then with the snow, you might choose to not pass it as much. And you got 2 running backs that can do that thing. And if this is the game they figure out how to use both. We saw the Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo where they passed the ball. What was it? 3 times?
Damian Harris game.
They went off.
Was that the snow wind game?
It was sleet. It was more like the field was icy. Yeah. But what I'm saying is like this is more so it's the same thing that we're not strong in. We can't we can't stop the run. So when you can't stop the run and you got this, you're gonna have Bills fans mad at me for saying it like that because we can't stop the run against good running backs. We can't. You guys got 2 of them. So I'm just saying, and I hear, I don't know how to say homie's name, but I hear that CMC might not be good till next year.
Or never. Oh, so Gojira, okay. Like Godzilla.
I ain't want to butcher it. But I hear CMC might not be good till next year or never. Might just be done. He might, but he might just need it a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And if this is the week, guess what? My team is the team that typically we give up. Look at what Derrick Henry did to us. Look at the first half of the Tennessee Titans game and go tell me what Tony Pollard. He's not even crazy. He was going nuts. And I'm like, what are we doing? Tony Pollard? What are we doing?
He's having a good year. I'll give him that, but yeah.
No, again,
he's having a good year. That's all I can say.
He's having a good year.
That's it. He's having a good year.
It's like, why are we going to let this, like, what's happening? And then the Bills get up a couple because we're supposed to. Yeah. And then they got to stop running the ball. That's the only reason. But, if the game is close at all, if we allow the 49ers to come into Buffalo, to come into Orchard Park and keep the game close to where they can give the ball in the snow to Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason all night. Are you kidding me? No, we don't want that. I don't want that.
That's the biggest path to winning for the 49ers, I think, is the run game. But you mentioned they got to keep the game close and able to keep the run game in it. And that's tough to do against the Buffalo Bills, especially this season. Hey, Jay Spence, we appreciate you joining us. We've been doing this for 5 years. I think this is the longest episode we've had. So we really appreciate you talking football with us. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Anything you want to mention?
No, man, I love y'all. I hope it's a good game, and I hope everybody comes out healthy. I'm truly a fan of the 49ers. So, I mean this. I just hope it's a great game, and I hope everybody comes out healthy. And then I hope y'all take the L, but I hope y'all figure out how to make the playoffs with 7 losses. And then I hope we meet y'all in the Super Bowl. And then I hope we beat y'all, but I hope it's that. Like, I love y'all that much. So, that's it. Go Bills. And I hope y'all keep doing your thing, man. You're a legend in my book. You know that.
I appreciate you, gang. I appreciate you, gang. And the joke on this podcast every year is the Berman Bowl. Like we gotta get one of those. We gotta get one of those, especially one in New Orleans, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. And yeah, I know that like you're not doing the content thing as much, but like there's nobody more that I respect that does this like with the Bills and everything. And like I said, man, if there's a trade in the works and you know what I'm saying, and you guys make it, like I'll definitely come over with you. Nah, it's good to have you here, and I think we should do more of these episodes with people who really know their other teams and everything as well too. But appreciate you, man, and you ball as always, man. And it's always good to talk with you, man. Man,
anytime. Love y'all. Y'all have a good time.
Jay Spence, you're invited on whenever you want to come on. Just text Jason Aponte, reach out.
Hey, you can stick around. We're gonna run the intro with Trey, and then we'll just bullshit like after like whatever if you want to tell. Yeah.
Jay Spence, as always, thank you very much for joining us. And then Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Kendrick's the GOAT.
Let's go Bills.
Let's go Niners. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow. I guess. I don't know. Buffalo by a lot.
Mustard.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.